you have touted your desire for greater transparency. How do you explain your support for H. Bill 520, which would lessen transparency into the actions of law enforcement, especially in light of what happened with Breonna Taylor and the damning report on LMPD's culture and actions? And why is there so little transparency and visibility in the process for the public in Frankfurt, especially on from parties that are most impacted by the legislation, DEI, LGBTQ issues, and so on?
So the discussion about that bill was led by some gentlemen who were formerly in the Kentucky State Police. And the concern is with an open records request, let's say that you have some suspects in a room and you're interviewing them, you know their names, and this guy's from Chicago and this guy's from Detroit and they're part of a drug ring. They said if you do an open records request and reveal the names of those people to the public with an ongoing investigation, that you compromise the investigation, you compromise the safety of witnesses who may be, threatened, harassed, killed, whatever, and sometimes law enforcement officers. So the restriction is on revealing information that is part of an ongoing investigation and passes the bar of being a substantial threat to that investigation or the people involved. It doesn't include investigations on closed cases, and Jason, you can correct me here, but I don't believe it includes information that you could obtain through a court process for specific information. It just prevents an average member of the public from going to get that information or revealing it that would put people's lives in jeopardy. I am absolutely an openness advocate, but I understand this is right on the line.
Yeah, again on 520, the premise is completely wrong. This is another example of how somebody can say words that sound really damning, but then when you know the facts, they're just not. So 520, as John said, is a bill that said if the investigation is ongoing and someone asks for open records from Middletown Police Department or State Police or whoever, if it could impede the investigation, release information about a witness, whatever, then the police department has to articulate the reason, and they don't have to give the records over until the investigation is over, and then at which time it becomes public, no exception for that. Bill also said that if the requester of the records thinks that the police department or the city is withholding records and using this as a way to hold people off, then they can challenge them with the Attorney General or go to circuit court. I would also note, this is an important fact, again, the premise is while we are, Kentucky Press Association does not oppose the bill. So if this were to hide the ball, then obviously the KPA would be opposing the bill. So it didn't. So I think this is a very responsible bill, 100% supported. The Senate took out the responsibility, it has not passed. The Senate took out the responsibility that you have to articulate the reasons therefore, and so we're going to get that particular portion back in there. But so that's the situation we're talking about here. When we have an ongoing investigation, we don't want that to be harmed, to go after the bad person, the wrongdoer, or to kill them. And so we protect records for that limited purpose.
This is one for everyone.